Greetings, metalheads. Welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George, back yet again with another bands you need to hear recommendation. Another band, if you haven't come across them before, then you really must make yourself acquainted. So today's band recommendation follows on quite nicely from a few other bands that I've been talking about quite a lot recently. Recently recommended Cruel Force, German thrash band, thrash speed band, absolutely fantastic band, a truly brilliant band that got only a couple of albums, but they are absolutely solid. I'm always singing the praises of the great Hellripper, the mighty Hellripper as well, and bands like Midnight. Been talking about Knife as well quite a lot, more of a younger band. But this band, Vulture, also hailing from Germany, from Dortmund, I believe, around 2015, I believe they were formed. 4 full-length albums in their discography, and they are another up-and-coming thrash band. But what they do it really, really well. And actually, you can't quite pigeonhole Vulture into thrash metal. They've also got a few more kind of, strings to their bow. There's a little bit of old school traditional heavy metal thrown into the mix, a bit of a new album nod in there as well. You've also got a decent measure of speed metal thrown into the mix. So as I say, carries on quite nicely from a few other bands that are quite similar that I've talked about over the last however many months. But I've been absolutely loving my thrash recently. I've been on an absolute thrash bender for maybe the last 6 months. And Vulture, they're one of the real standout bands. So this little prop that I was just holding up here, this is actually their 2024 full-length album, the 4th album. This is Sentinels. Showed it off however many months ago it was now on a collection update. This is a cracking album. This is a great one. Obviously, we'll come back to this. I like to keep things chronological. That said, the debut album, which I believe was released in 2017, The Guillotine, don't have a physical copy of that, which is a shame, but it doesn't seem to be the sort of album that you can readily get hold of. I think it's going to be a bit of a pricey one if I do decide to actually track down a physical copy. I have tried, trust me. You can get hold of it on Spotify, YouTube, if you want to check it out. It is a good album. I've listened to bits and bobs of it. Haven't actually really sat down and committed to it. I've got a thing about, if I haven't got the physical copy, I tend to just overlook it. It's just an annoying habit of mine, perhaps. But I will say, chronologically, the first album of theirs that I do have the physical copy of is Ghastly Waves and Battered Graves. This was released in 2019. A bit more accessible. You can get hold of a copy of this fairly easily. And what's really cool about this physical, picked this up, I don't know, a few months back. It actually comes with a cool retro patch. Very awesome. Haven't got any room on my jackets, so unfortunately this might be condemned to the digi sleeve here for a while, but this is a really good album. Out of all 3 of the ones that I do have, this is the one that I've been coming back to the most frequently in recent times. It's a very thrashy album, some great riffs in there, but there's still that strong dose of good old heavy metal, strong new album dose in there. We kick off with a great ripping track, Fed to Sharks, which is a great way to kick off the album. They've then got the garrote. It's kind of got this like horror movie kind of vibe to it. Great. And I think that's actually a fair theme that runs throughout all of their albums that I've heard. Anyway, the kind of horror movie vibe is ever present. But it is good. It is good. It's enjoyable. It's not overly serious stuff. I mean, just look at the lineup shot here. It's clearly a homage to the traditional heavy metal ways. We've got the denim and the leather and the spikes and thrash t-shirts. It's not overly serious stuff. Beyond the Blade, or BTB, is a great track as well. Some great riffs here. Ghastly Waves and Battered Graves is incredibly catchy. A great speed metal track there. And what else have we got here? Dua's Hollow is great. Tarantula as well. Just the whole album. It's an easily palatable thrashing album. And when I say thrashing, I mean great riffs. We're getting those decent chugging riffs. You know, plenty of speed in there. Thrash, speed metal. Hey, it's riffing. It's riffing stuff. Some great leads, I will say. Really good vocal work as well. Can't overlook L. Steeler and his vocals. Unique kind of vocal style. I wouldn't necessarily like to just compare it to anyone else, but there's kind of a schmear vibe going on there. Not just because they're a German band, but there is that kind of vibe. They have gone all out with the names as well, which is quite cool. So we've got G. Deceiver on drums. We've got S. Genocider, L. Steeler, A. Extinctor, and where's that? Outlaw, M. Outlaw as well. Very cool. You know, light-hearted stuff. But this is a really good album. It's a ripping album. Definitely, if you enjoyed those, the first two Cruel Force albums I recommended, then you're definitely going to enjoy that album. Up next, we have Dealing Death. This is a bit more of a serious effort, I would say. Not that there's anything at all wrong with Ghastly Waves, but I think this is a very good album indeed. Great art as well. Very cool. Very strong album. I don't know if it's thrashier. Just to me, it just sounds a bit kind of heavier, but you know, much the same. The formula is still very much there. Vulture doing Vulture and doing Vulture well. Plenty of speedy riffs. Just great tracks throughout. Malicious Souls after that intro there is a great one. Count Your Blessings. Gorgon. There's actually a couple of tracks on here that are more prominently New Wobham tribute in my mind, not just because of the title Gorgon. There are a few moments throughout this album that do bring like Angel Witch to mind, and certainly on Star-Crossed City, I'm getting the dual guitar Maiden tribute going on there. It's great stuff. Flee the Phantom, Dealing Death, Multitudes of Terror, the very catchy closing track, The Court of Caligula. It's a really good album, really strong. Again, plenty of thrashing riffs, great leads, and good vocals. Good vocals throughout. I like the attention to detail that we get going on here, just kind of throughout all of their packages. They're really cool. It's really cool stuff. Good aesthetics. Very New Wobham, again, traditional heavy metal. What more can you say? Just a really solid album. Good continuation and fine form. Riffs galore. That brings us up to date with Sentinels. Probably the best of the covers that we've got here. And you just look at the back cover there. That just screams Judas Priest worship. In my mind, anyway. Just, I don't know, it just looks a little bit Unleashed in the East. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But there is a little bit of a Priest vibe at times. This is a great album, I will say. And actually, I did show this off, whenever it was that I did the collection update. But check out this rather nice vinyl colour we've got here. When I picked this up on Amazon, it was cheaper than the CD. So that's hence why I've had this one on vinyl version and the others on CD. That and just availability. You know, price of physical, I'm always moaning about it, but physical copies are just crazily expensive. So I'll just go for what's cheapest, really. Although there is something lovely about having a nice big vinyl with your nice big insert and cover, back with our very heavy metal lineup, but also a very fitting tag here, high speed metal. I think that is very fair to say. This is a very good shot inside here. If that doesn't just scream metal, then I don't know what does. Great poster shot there. So it's a very high speed album, plenty of thrashing riffs going on there, plenty of speed, just good, energetic stuff. This is energetic metal. This is grab a beer and thrash along to it. Kicks off with Screams from the Abattoir, which has some decent screams in it as well. Really good opener. We've got Unhallowed and Forgotten. Quite a nice Maiden-esque intro piece there with Transylvania. Run with the Impaler. Where there's a whip, there's a way, which is a great number. Kind of has that rock and roll edge to it as well. Death Row, Gargoyles, Oathbreaker is a brilliant one, and the fantastic Sentinels Heavier Than Time. A really good album. I absolutely love it. I've been listening to these 3 albums a lot, obviously, preparing for this review, and I can firmly say these are all well worth a listen. Even if you just weren't massively interested in thrash or speed metal, if you can appreciate the classics, the legends, your Maiden, your Saxon, your Judas Priest, your Accept, then you can certainly get behind these albums because it's that good balance. It's primarily thrashing, speed metal, but you've got a good dose of good old heavy metal in there as well. With almost a sprinkle, a light dusting, seasoning, if you like, of the kind of blackened speed sound, but it's mostly thrashing heavy metal. So there we have it. From Germany, founded in 2015, we have the mighty Vulture. Really fun band, not overly serious, as I say. It's just got that kind of horror movie vibe going on there. Ghastly waves and battered graves. This is for the fans of true metal. For thrash metal, for heavy metal, the good old school ways. If you like your old school metal, Vulture have got it in spades. Dealing Death, another fine album. There isn't a dud here at all, and they don't variate that massively between albums either. Sentinels, the most recent album, again, it's just they've got their formula. Vulture have their sound, and they kind of stick with it and run with it, and it works. It really does work. So if you're looking for something fast and fun, Vulture are a band you need to hear. So my friends, are you a Vulture fan already? Let me know. If you've never heard of Vulture, check out any of these. I would say that they're all well worth it. If you want a good starting point, I'd probably say the one that I've been revisiting the most, Ghastly Waves, is a really good starting point. It's excellent. Just good heavy metal. So check it out and let me know what you think. Always interested to hear thoughts and opinions of others, of course. Thank you very much for watching, my friends. Do check back soon for more reviews and recommendations of all the good heavy things. Do take care of yourselves. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. The support is always very much appreciated. Until next time, listen to Vulture and stay heavy.